Whoa, what do you say about that, ladies and gents? Good. What? I've just finished watching Raised by Wolves. I'm late. I'm watching Batman and other crap. No, the Batman's great, by the way. Oh my god! What? This episode was absolute madness. I don't know quite where to start with this episode. So much happened. So much didn't happen. We had our character of Sue becoming a bloody tree at the end. The tree of life, I'm assuming. The Mithraic tree. What? Oh my... What? I'm stunned. They go absolutely balls to the wall on this. Father's little side project, the grandmother android, has sort of necromancer powers but doesn't. Not a weapon. Something else. This episode was epic. Tempest's baby arrives. And then a new sea monster comes out. Lovecraftian envelops it, puts it in its stomach like a chest cavity, and then runs away. The interesting thing about that one is the acidic water didn't affect the baby. Burnt Tempest apart didn't seem to affect the baby. Bit weird. Oh my god, what an episode! So let's break it down. Let's talk about it, right? So those are the key points that happen. But let's talk about all the moving pieces of this puzzle and where things are sort of going now, right? The signal obviously spoke to Sue. Well, Sue spoke to the signal, but then the signal told Sue that it wants Sue to find the hexagonal box, the artifact that allegedly contained the seed that would bring the tree into existence. Now, interestingly enough, when she was trying to open that seed, when she ran off with Paul, the serpent was going nutso and was very angry. So there I am thinking that this serpent that was, created by this signal, is it going to be the same signal that's apparently persuading Sue to do these things? It obviously didn't want her to open it. It was scared. It was concerned. It was like, what are you doing? We can't do that. So the moving piece of this puzzle with the serpent is very interesting, because now I'm starting to think, well, maybe in terms of this signal, there are two signals. Maybe. I think so. Grandmother being an ancient Mithraic android, not a huge surprise. Interesting that obviously has been on the planet for so long, thousands of years, in fact, and is speaking ancient Mithraic. So it goes to show that the planet was something which everyone knew about anyway. And has also, grandmother just sort of disappeared. She's all wired up to the computers and stuff, and then vanished. So I'm wondering if her consciousness has gone somewhere. But it was interesting, wasn't it, that mother immediately ran up to her and was like, yep, nope, we're having a standoff. But they both did the same kind of similar-ish pose. But it's interesting that grandmother becomes golden in that pose. But also grandmother's well aware that she was facing a weapon. Yeah, that's a weapon right there. That is a weapon. But what's inside grandmother? There's something else, some code lurking in her that they couldn't quite decipher. What's that about? Oh, it's getting interesting. I love this show. Oh, balls to the wall, nonsense sci-fi, but it's just so good. I genuinely couldn't believe the thing with Tempest. Tempest could have gone either way. Tempest walking up to the ocean shore. They kept showing the waves. Beautiful cinematography, by the way. But they kept showing the waves, and I was thinking, Is a wave just going to come and sweep her away? She's going to die? Because they kept showing it. I was like, yeah, okay, interesting. But then they showed the funnel. Now, it's interesting that the funnel was obviously going into the crust of the Earth, obviously underwater and stuff, and the sound waves were traveling. Now, we know that the tunnels on the other side were home to the other humanoids. So obviously these are exactly the same, just on the other side. But then quite an unusual looking monster came out. Not the same as the ones we've seen already. Very, very different, in fact. Much, much bigger. Much, much, much more terrifying. They had... Tempest gave birth. Obviously, that was the baby's cries, which summoned the animal, the humanoid. But seemed to know what it was doing. It knew what it wanted. It didn't want Tempest. It wanted the baby. And it opened up this chest cavity. This whole thing just opened up. Like a big mouth. And it just picked it up and put it in. But whilst it was doing it, it was burning Tempest's arms by pulling her off. By, you know, taking the baby off of her. But the baby didn't look like it was being burnt. So what's that all about? Oh, and then it just slunk straight off into the ocean. But do you remember... I remember season 1 actually. No, let's talk about this. Season 1. When she found out she was pregnant and Tempest, exactly the same character, was put in sort of solitary, sort of, but sort of not, in the outbuilding. Do we all remember this? And those creatures on the other side of the planet were going mental for Tempest. Do you remember? And Mother came down, unleashing the sound waves, just blowing them all up. I remember that. Isn't that interesting that they wanted the children? I'm wondering what's going on there. Ooh. Ooh. And then, of course, we close with Sue becoming a tree. Marcus eating a bit of fruit, which looked oddly flesh-like. But then the veins flowing and the heartbeat. And you could tell he knew what Sue had become. Oh, this show's great. It's almost like Sue and Marcus have become Adam and Eve, and then Marcus has consumed the forbidden fruit. Ever thought about that? Oh. Anyway, more of a conversation piece than a review. What do you think? Let me know down below. Love to hear your thoughts and theories. Drop them down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Please do. Check you're subscribed, and come back next week for another review. Cheers, guys. Take care.